And three. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great too, and I'm very glad that I finally got chance to interview you. And friends, we have Chris here. Let me tell just one liner about the Chris. Chris is performance strategist for athletes to work on the mindset, and he is one of the best. I want to um, uh, interview him, especially because of his success rate with the athletes and how he helps them to nail it and achieve high level, because sports coaching is altogether a different arena. So how did you get into coaching, Chris?
The one of the things that got me into coaching, it's probably when I moved out to Charlotte. I used to live in Seattle,
Okay.
and I was working at Microsoft at the time, moved to Charlotte, and I just wanted something different. And I've always loved helping people. I love it when people succeed. Like when someone goes out there and just, even when it sucks, right? They go out and they own that. To me, and being raised as a kid, my parents are very much of that mindset. If you're going to have a great day or success, you've got to earn the right to show up every day. So I was always brought up that if you want something, you've got to earn it, and the rent is due every single day, right? There's no way. So I love that, and I always wanted to work with the people, and I'm in a great position now where I get to work with so many amazing people, from young kids from like 11 on years up to people who are in their 70s, in different areas of where they want to grow or become or do or being more. And to me, once you start, and again, this is something I've been doing since I was a kid, once you get a taste of that, where people are winning and they're growing and helping others and making progress, it's an addiction. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And what inspired you to get into sports coaching? Well, you could have become executive coach or relationship coach or something other.
Right.
Why sports coaching?
So when I started in my early years, God, a little over 10 years ago, I started out and I owned a company, I still have it actually, called Charlotte Hypnosis Place.
Okay.
And one of the biggest easy things I would do is I'd work with typically smokers. And I found out that when working with them, a lot of them would say they wanted to stop smoking, but then they just never would do anything. They'd come for the session and they'd say, well, I tried that, or I gave it a shot, or it just doesn't work for me. And that's always heartbreaking for me, because I was a 2-pack a day smoker for 10 years. I quit 1,000 times. And then there was one day where I was walking up a set of stairs. And in my life, I go, if I can't walk up, there's like 5 steps. If I can't walk up these 5 steps with not huffing and puffing, I'm not gonna be able to see my kids, my grandkids. I'm not gonna be able to do the adventures I want to do and all the activities. And I stopped. I haven't looked back, and that was probably about 20 years ago. And so I started, what the challenge or the dilemma I started having is people say they wanted to do something, but they would never do it. And to me, it's like, our biggest, people think competition is everyone else. Competition is the mirror. Competition is when you look in that mirror and all those voices in your head start telling you who you think you should be or you're not, or what you see on social media and everything else. And we start listening to those other voices.
Okay.
And we've got to learn how to do this. When I started, one of the biggest shifts over to athletes was when I started working with athletes who were scholarship bound or Olympic bound, or they wanted to go pro in the future. These are kids that typically had probably started around 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
And I'm now working with them at 11 or 12 or 13. So they're getting ready to shift, right? To get finally to reach that goal and everything else. But one of the coolest things, what I thought was so fun or great about them, is they would talk about the different broken bones or the setbacks or the hard times with coaches or the long trips they would have to take everywhere. but they're like, I'm coming back. I'm gonna get this. And I thought to myself, wow, even when it sucked, even when it's alone, even when they're tired, even when they wanted to quit a million times, they still kept moving forward.
Yes.
When I saw that they started fighting for themselves and not the limitations, I'm like, that's my client. I want the one that every day can wake up and say, I don't care. I may not want to do it. I don't want to do this. That sucks, whatever else, but I got a goal and I'm going to keep moving forward. Because in the end, success is always going to be about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's how you found your niche, that yes,
Yeah.
this is what I find. Awesome.
Yeah.
And when it comes to sports, what is the role of mindset in the field of coaching generally? Because mindset plays. What differentiates two players is it's all about mindset. Is what I feel, at least from my perspective. Chris.
Yeah.
So what's the role of mindset there?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. What the mindset of the.
Yeah, mindset of a player. So
yeah.
And to teach that, what is the role of coaching?
The role of coaching?
Yes.
The role of coaching is to be a guide, not the hero.
Okay.
A lot of people think that they have to be the hero. You're not here to solve their problems or anything else. What you are to do is to help them building new identity. So Rise of the Super Athlete, my tagline is a ground up design. So we go look at my mental mindset. Who do you want to become? How would that look? How would you attack the day when you fail or it sucks? What would you say to yourself? It's almost kind of the same mentality that when Kobe Bryant designed the Black Mamba, right? Where he became the guy when he walked in that court, he knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew what he would talk to himself. He knew how he would attack. If he failed, how he would learn better, how he would train, how he would support other people. It's really taking a conscious look at your unconscious process, and we redesign everything. So you in your mind have a powerful vision. And this is the one big thing when I'm talking to athletes, no matter what level they're at, I always ask them the question, how do you know you're winning?
Okay.
And never have I ever had one tell me, I don't know. That's like getting into a Ferrari and going, well, we're just going to drive and hopefully we end up at our destination, because they think they're doing the right things. And doing the right things isn't really what you need to do. What you need to do is go, okay, what it is I really want. And then be able to describe that very vividly, just like you would if you're a Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Mike Tyson, right? They knew clear what they wanted. We reverse engineer all that, how I would walk, talk, train, move, because every day when you take action, you're going to know quicker if you're moving towards or away from the goal. And we need to know now, not 6 months later, where I've talked to athletes like, well, I did all this training and then I showed up and I realized I could have hit this one area. But when I asked them, what was your goal? They're like, I don't know. I just do what the coaches do and I do everything else. And the coaches are great, but you've got to give the mind a vision, and you need to discipline that vision every single day. You can't just look at it, put it on a board and go, well, I hope that I'm going to make it here. And here's what's fascinating. So we know that we're about just over 40 days from December 31st, right? New Year's. And we know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to talk about their New Year's resolutions. Yes. And, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. But what the scary thing is not the fact that they make the New Year's resolution. That's at least a start. But there's typically a day when about 80% of them fall out. Do you know what day that is?
No.
It's January 17th.
Okay.
So people who make a New Year's resolution because they want to do something in their life or whatever else, they go and try to make this goal. They may even attempt it, but by around the middle of January, it's over. And by February, the number increases even more.
Okay.
And what we need to do is we need to go, okay, we got to have the goal, but we need to have the reasons why, and then how you're making progress every day and learning when you're winning and the feedback with it. So people think, well, I didn't have a good day, or maybe I didn't attack it the way I wanted to. But at least now you know. Now you can go, oh, before I didn't realize that. Now I at least have a conscious awareness of where I'm at, what I'm doing, the direction I'm going. I can get more clarity or power in that. And when you can see yourself, even in failure, learning to grow, you have more fuel, more passion. You start to reinforce who you are. You reinforce your growth, your progress. When you have that and someone looks in the mirror, even on their worst day, and they're going, you know, it sucked. I didn't like it. I maybe didn't feel well. Maybe family, friends, coaches, whatever else were mean to me that day, whatever. But I'm making progress. That's where we want everybody to be at. I want progress over perfection every single day.
Wow. And what's your secret behind creating wonderful results to your clients, Chris?
It's, again, we're going to go back to them designing from who they want to be and how they want to look. And so a lot of times, most people don't have an idea what that is. Or I'm working with a client right now who sent me a picture of her about 10 years ago. And this is a business client, because I do have business clients that I work with. Mm-hmm. And she goes, this is who I want to be, and I lost her. And she goes, now I'm going to get her back. And when you have somebody who's like, oh my God, I miss this person because they were this way, or they wanted to do that, and they are the ones that are taking it on. You see, I'm not the one that's going to do it. A lot of people like to say, well, I've got the secret 5 steps or this or that. If the person doesn't feel like they're invested, or they're making their own, going to the mental gym and lifting their own weights, it's a lost battle. But when they go, wait a second, this is a part, or this is something new, or growth, and I get to earn the right, I get to put in the reps, I get to put the sweat, blood, and tears with this. So at the end of the day, I can look back and go, I'm on my way. That's really what you look for. And when I do my sessions, I do 4 sessions up front, and they're a week apart. And my biggest thing to them is I want progress over perfection, because a lot of times people will go, well, I didn't do this right and I didn't do that right. The challenge with that is they're putting way too much effort, not noticing, or they're noticing what's going wrong. But the question is going to be, well, what was your outcome? And you have to drill the discipline. What's the outcome, and how do you know you were getting there, and everything else? And they have to go, well, my outcome was this, or I didn't really have one. Okay, well, what could we learn, notice, or do to build this other part of you? So, yeah.
That's how you make them accountable, like week after week, how a client is moving towards the outcome they have seen.
I'm not making them do anything. Okay. They already come to me with it. So when I'm talking to somebody, before I take a client on, I need to know that they've already done this in the past. Okay. So when I'm talking to an athlete and I hear, I'm All-American bound, or I'm scholarship bound, or my hope is someday maybe be Olympics or top 50 national United States, or internet. And I'm working with a 16-year-old right now who just won a silver in archery. And he was in Colombia, South America, when he did this. When I hear that, they're already accountable. Okay. To get where they had to, they've had to do it for years. What I want to know is, again, do they have skin in the game? And is it going to be something where even when it sucks or they lose, do they still get up? And typically you start listening to somebody after 5 or 10 minutes and talking to them. And you're like, okay, they're going to earn that right. They are the ones that, hey, I've already been here before. I already know. I've already seen this. I've already been disappointed, frustrated, upset. But I know I'm capable of more. That has to be full ownership on them. I can't give that to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can write a book and do everything else. And part of that is like, wait a second, we need these visualizations of bringing it out. What was that?
No.
What was that?
I say you can just write this book and do this. This is not how the coaching works. Is what I'm saying.
No, because logically, people would go, yeah, I know I should. It's like working out, which is fascinating. When you see a bodybuilder, okay, right? When we look at a bodybuilder, we know that this person on a continuous basis for years has gone to the gym and fed himself and then trained and everything else. But the most fascinating thing about the mindset game is it's more of, yeah, I know I should do that. I did that one time. Really? That's like going to your coach. Hey, coach, I practiced my dribbles, back in January 1st. I don't need to practice anymore. He's going to laugh at you and tell you to get off the court. Because every day, I want you to do an hour of dribbles, and you're going to do this stretching for a half hour, and you're going to do this. And you're going to keep doing it until we get to the game. And we're going to practice, and we're going to learn, and we're going to grow. But yet when it comes to the mindset, people are like, yeah, I'll get to that someday, I'm too busy. That's a tough ask. It's not going to end well.
Okay. And what's your advice to athletes for peak performance, Chris?
What's that?
What is your advice the athletes for peak performance?
To be disciplined in the daily efforts.
Be disciplined in the daily effort.
Absolutely. We want to discipline the new rituals that are going to get you to where you want to go.
Okay.
Every day, we want to put the reps in. We want those physical, mental reps in there every single day. And to keep those disciplines, those promises to yourself every day.
Okay.
So when people talk about how do you build confidence, the best way to build confidence is keeping promises to yourself.
Okay.
That's it. People always say, what's some big thing or whatever else? No, when you can show yourself that you're willing to put the shoes on or to get out and do the workout, and you consistently reinforce that, you're now building that, oh, I can do this. I've done it in the past. I can do it now. And now I can create a future I actually believe. That's not just I hope maybe someday. It's like, no. I'm making progress. I can see what I'm doing this and I'm learning as I'm going. That's a great thing because now they have ownership too as well. And that's where, again, you want them to have ownership of that because that's where real pride comes in. I'll typically see this when I'm working with my clients, usually maybe about 3 months or 6 months down the road. I'll get a text message from either the athlete or the parents saying, oh my God, I want to let you know they've done this over here. They had this setback, but they came back even stronger. Or we were talking to the coaches today and the coaches are like, I don't know what's going on, but keep doing it.
Okay.
That's how you know you're making success. Another thing is we like to think that maybe in a session or two, we can make changes. I've done that. But when you can look down the future and have them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months on the road and you get the feedback, boy, everything you taught me, help me do this, overcome that, realize that, go after a life in this way. Thank you. Then you're like, okay, that is something that is, you can't put a price on that. It's not like money. It's more of a, wow, that was great. You know, we both work together for a goal and we're enjoying the journey along the way, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So what is, you have given wonderful advice for the athletes. What is your advice to the coaches to deliver best results for their clients?
So coaches are really good. I think a lot of the coaches typically out there, they need to start working on the mindset, creating the identity of who their athletes want to be. Coaches are typically good at the physical part.
Okay.
Making sure the training, and it depends on whatever the athlete is or whatever area, it's always the physical part of the stuff. Making sure you're doing the trainings or showing up to the competitions or doing whatever else. But unfortunately, and this is a scary part of it, which is nuts, mindset. In fact, I think one of my clients maybe has a coach that talks about mindset and actually working with them on that. All the other ones, they know it's important, but they never train it. They just keep, no, we're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Well, that's great. But when you're in the life is never a 1, 2, 3. Life's going to come at you from all directions and you better figure out, how do I be resourceful? How do I ask better questions? How do I create my confidence when I'm not confident? I want my athletes to be uncomfortable winning there, not comfortable. Okay. And what coaches need to do is, while the reps and the physical part are important, they need to have their athletes be uncomfortable mentally. They need to have the athletes show up, well, this sucked. I had to really think outside the box, or I had to bring this part out of me that I didn't know I had. Because now that's something that's organic, that they own, and no one can take that away. And you can't teach that, but you can put people there physically and mentally where that part has to come out. And that's what you really need with athletes. Because a lot of times they're going to go, well, I've done all the reps, I've done all the training, I've been doing this for years, I should already be, like this scholarship or whatever else. No, because everyone else around you has done that.
Okay.
The thing that separated like a Tom Brady or a Michael Jordan is the mindset. That's why, love them or hate them, people refer to them as the best of the best. Why? Because they can look at something and see it in ways that you can't. And they discipline that every single day.
Every single day. No,
yeah.
and I'm talking more about not the sports, not the general coaches who like cricket coach or soccer coach. I'm talking about the people like you, like sports coaches. What is your advice for the other sports coaches?
Got you. So when it comes to them, I think in anyone in the performance area, the biggest thing that is always going to really kind of that I think needs to really shift is they need to understand the person first.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of coaches and everyone else out there want to put certifications and trainings. Fine, that's always good. You should always be learning. I'm always learning and studying, and I have a few friends that I reach out to who are really good at what they do. And we brainstorm new fun ways of doing stuff. When I learned stage hypnosis training years ago with Mark Savard, the one cool thing about it is we had to learn to think outside the box. But the biggest thing to do is I think a lot of coaches get stuck in their process.
Okay.
It has to happen this way or whatever else. And to me, it simply doesn't, it doesn't usually work out that way. And I think when you can understand the person's world and appreciate who they are, and then you two can walk together and find out ways of being resourceful and how to get that outcome and have fun doing it, you're going to win on a scale that's going to dwarf everyone else.
Okay.
Just dwarf them. And then there was a study that was done that they talked about. It was with different therapists. And the interesting thing about this is people went to these therapists and they're asking them, what was the one thing that, you know, you didn't make change over here, but with this therapist, you did do change, or a coach? And they simply said, I felt that they understood me. I connected with them.
Oh.
It wasn't the certifications. It wasn't anything else. It was the fact that I connected with them and kind of went from there. And that's the other reason when I'm working with a client, I need to connect with them first. Logically, they know there should be mental training. Logically, they know they need to be doing discipline. But when I have them laughing, having fun, connecting, growing, owning all that, they're unstoppable.
Wow. Got it. And Chris, is it there is some like in the Kung Fu Panda, there is a word like secret recipe. So same way, do you have some special techniques or secret techniques that makes you the best or that keeps you where you are, or your ability to understand the person, be with the person fully, and then, you know, taking them? Like, what is your secret of techniques? Do you have any secret technique?
So this is a great question. And I think people will talk about a secret recipe or a secret technique.
Yeah.
And for me, I like to playfully go into my client and have fun with them.
Okay.
Be fun, ridiculous, have them laugh. I will do jokes, whatever else like that.
Okay.
Because there you have this organic of like them laughing or doing whatever, and you have connection. Because once we have that, now we can use this powerful resource state to move everywhere. But it's also organically, I never look at, I know we call them clients, but to me, I see an amazing, awesome human being. Okay. When I look at them and I hear about what they have done, I'm like, wow, if they only can see the talent, the beauty, this awesome person that I see, they're winning. And I go all in with my heart with that, because I know it's out there. And no matter what we're doing, my vision of them is winning at 100%, having fun, going forward, stronger than they ever thought. So when they go to bed at night, they can at least go to bed, I'm going forward, I'm doing it, I'm handling life. So connection's huge for me, but I always see them winning and having fun and growing and inspiring others through their actions.
Okay. Okay.
So I want it to be so good when they walk into a room, people are like, I don't know who that person is, but I like what they bring in there. I love their energy. I want to be a part of them. Okay. That's the area I want to bring out. So if there's a secret technique, I mean, that would be it.
Okay. And when you said that, when a person, you ask like, what is your goal? How do you know that you're winning and all that? Yeah. Once you set a vision, after that, like, people may tend to forget. People may, like, you know, there is some misalignment from the vision they have built. So you have already emphasized about every single day they have to work on it. Are there any tips for the athletes about the vision they have built for themselves?
So part of what you're saying is they have the goal, right? We were talking about what's your outcome. How do you know you're going to get there? What's it going to be like when you do that? What I usually do is I have them play fun games through the day. I want you to go as if you're brushing your teeth before you do it. Mm-hmm. How do you want to feel when you're done brushing your teeth? What would your outcome be? What would you notice when you're eating, when you're maybe at school doing work, right? I'll take my client, when you're putting your shoes on, I will have them playing games that way. so that that no matter what, they can go, well, you know, I was going this direction, but I realized I had to shift over here. Okay, so what did you notice? How did you change? Did your goal change? Because sometimes your goal would change. They'll be like, Chris, you know, my goal over here was to do this. But as I was doing it, I realized I wanted to do this, right? And now they become like, oh my God, this becomes an addiction. It becomes more fun. And I actually have more power than I thought, because in the past, they only did things because I just had to go brush my teeth, or I had to do my homework, or I had to do training with my coaches. It's the same thing in the past. And if you're going to look at your future dependent upon your past, and if your past had no resources, then we know how your future is going to be. So the most beautiful part is how can someone create a compelling future now? And not something that's so big, like where I want to be All-American or top national or Olympic. It's got to be, you got to do like when I go to the gym and I'm getting there the first time, I've got to start with the 5-pound weights first. I can't go directly to the 100 pounds or 200-pound weights. Oh. And I need to do the reps, and I need to earn the right from moving the 5-pound weights to the 10-pound weights. Yeah. And I got to keep doing the reps with the 10-pound weights and earn the right to the 15-pound weights. In the mind, it's the same thing too. I want them to do the reps so many times that they go, okay, great, I'm really good at this. Now I can jump to this new level, almost this new chapter, this new way of doing it, and then kind of playing with it and see what it is. Because here's what's going to happen. As they're growing, more options are going to appear. The more ways they can win can appear. The more resources are going to happen. Their goal's going to change. From what they tell me with the first session, by the fourth session, they're like, man, I thought this way over here, but holy mackerel, this over here, I'm seeing clearly that I can actually achieve this, and I'm having fun doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Amazing. So, Chris, you have opened up and shared like what is your advice to other sports coaches? What is your advice for athletes, and how having a vision and working towards it every single day helps? And you also shared a beautiful thing that understand the person. How
Yeah.
A person, like, why didn't someone did not like or resonate with certain one coach, and why did he or she resonate with specific coaches? Because they understood me. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Like, awesome. Yeah. It was amazing talking to you, Chris, and you opened up and shared all that is required, and all the very best to you. And you're doing amazing job, and I appreciate your time, Chris, and your openness to share. Like, you're like all over, like, okay, ask me anything, I'm here to share. So that's what I like about you. Thank you very much once again, Chris.
Absolutely. It was great talking to you. Have an awesome holiday and New Year.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Bye.
Take care. Bye.